genuinely desires, but heartily pursues and intentionally invests in. For in the gathering of men, only those whose minds are in tune with the dynamics of the past, present, and future innovations, inventions, politics, and governance are from television, broadening your horizon.
I think that's an interesting thing.
This one piece will make 52 layers.
Watch on mobile devices or the big screen, all for free. No subscription required. Download Veely now.
This place is called Olebri Well 1. They found traces of oil here in 1956. I am from Olebri community. That is where I come from, my ancient home, my home.
I've heard stories many times that when oil is found in a place, everyone starts thinking about what he can get for himself.
Yes, for example, our closest neighbor, the Nembe people. Oil has caused a lot of problems.
Excuse me. I don't go green. Olebiri, kakesi, kakesi, what are the soldiers? Don't have a geo. So I'm dragging a point. You people enter this can leave this place. Enter this can leave this place. Enter this can leave this place. Nothing done yet. Tell you that you can leave this place. Nothing is done. Enter this can leave this place.
I think that's an interesting thing.
This one piece will make 52 layers.
Watch on mobile.
design the plan, build the equipment, and install it. We're looking at a $11 billion development on 1 billion barrels, net to us $2.2 billion net to the company. This is a substantial oil project.
It's important we generate enough reward to justify our risk. But when there's a lot of money at stake and people's focus gets more intense and more people from the outside and on the periphery will look to get a piece of it. There's hundreds of examples of that around the world outside of the oil business. I don't think that's endemic to the oil business. But in the oil business, it is quite large. You know, in our discussion today, we're talking hundreds of millions and billions of dollars. That doesn't happen very often.
Just got back the news we recovered oil out of our sample too. Big, yes. Good oil. So
it is on the science about 54 meters.
About what?
About 54. Yeah, 54 meters.
Okay.
Previously it was 15, and you found 28 more.
Yeah, it's good. It's all good. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cosmos was an idea that Jim Musselman had back in 2002. Jim came to visit me. He was just thinking about starting his new business at the time. Jim is bigger than life. First of all, he's physically quite large, as you know, and I don't mean that in a negative sense. He's just a tall guy. And he's very charismatic, and he's a great optimist, and he has a lot of self-confidence, and that's what came through.
You see a lot of these umbrellas?
I need one of those. You think I could buy one of those umbrellas? Do you think it'd be all right if I carried one of those over?
Yeah. Okay, this one. The work you are coming to do in Ghana merits respect.
Thank you.
All of us give you that full recognition.
Well, you're very kind. We take the responsibility very seriously because we know how important it is for the country, and we intend to do a really good job. So you're going to be proud of us.
We're going to be proud of you. Yeah, let's go.
Okay, let's don't make the king wait.
And I looked up to him. He's always there to support me, and I'm there to support him. And this is an old drill bit from a well that we drilled in Egypt many, many years ago. And I just kept it as a memento of those days and as an inspiration for the dreams that we have to work in Africa and to find more oil.
The king is very well respected in the country.
Yes.
He tells all our senses to stand, we stand.
The king needs to know who we are.
Exactly.
Your Majesty, my name is Jim Musselman. I'm president of Cosmos Energy. We hope that we can serve you well, and we hope we lead to a lot of prosperity for this country as we go forward with our oil and gas.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you for the opportunity. It's a wonderful place. Thank you.
Thank you very much! We'd like to know the name of your company and where can we locate?
Yeah, the name of the company is Cosmos Energy. We're based in Dallas, Texas.
GMPC is a very good company that runs your energy business, and together
we're going to do our best to... Okay. George, and away we go. That was spectacular. How often do you get to see something like that? That was wonderful.
We came to Ghana because of George Owusu. We got our contract for the block from him.
I went to one shop after the other, all the major companies, and nobody, some of them have not even heard of Ghana. I mentioned Ghana, they said Ganda. Somebody mentioned there's some guys in Dallas, and they're walking around with lots of money. His name was Muslim. So one night, I called for the director assistant, and I said, okay, give me all the Muslim men you have in Dallas. Okay, so John Muslim, Peter Muslim, 10-15 to be exact. I got hold of Mr. James Muslim. So I found Cosmos, and they came in. This place is gorgeous. This is one of the best places you can feel. So we just moved here about a year ago, and after the discovery, yeah.
Discovering oil helped.
Exactly, a year ago, and after the discovery, yeah.
Discovering oil helped.
Exactly. See, we are moving.
Mr. President, before
flaring or gushing or whatever, so that Ghana would see.
Yes. We're testing the well to see what the reservoir is going to deliver. Unfortunately, we're having to burn the oil. We don't have any way to collect it right now.
So you mean you pump up?
Oil flows out of the formation,
out,
at around 4,000 barrels a day right now. We're doing it in the name of science.
That's about $2 million.
Don't do the arithmetic. It'll hurt your heart if you think about it.
He's a banker, but
We're coming in from the southeast, winds behind us, clear of the flare.
You heard about our wells flowing back nicely? You heard about our wells flowing back nicely? Yes. That's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, very exciting, very exciting.
Money, once we're all set and done. Money, once we're all set and done.
See the price now? The
price of oil went up $15 between Tuesday and today.
You are rich.
So, a flowing oil.
Flowing oil for the first time in the history of the country.
Exactly, flowing oil. So, sure.
Yeah.
It's my favorite place in the world, right here. Isn't it pretty? The light is just spectacular. I don't know. I guess I've always been somewhat of a gambler, and so the gambling nature of it sort of appealed to me. Go. Go. Move. Headstones, and this is my mother and father.
What did your dad do?
He was a rancher. Everybody here ranched.
Are you the first oil guy in your family?
Uh-huh.
What did your dad think about it?
I think he was proud of me, I guess. I don't know. I mean, people, we're not great communicators out here. You don't tell one another how one feels too much, and so I don't really know. But I think he was proud. These people worked hard. You're working to make this a better place and make sure that it gets passed on to your children. I want to give to my children more than I received. That's important to me, to add to it.
The American model for people making money off of a single oil well is so different from the rest of the world.
Oh, yeah, because the minerals in the state of Texas, for instance, are owned by individuals. They're not owned by the state. You don't have a state-run oil company, and the money's actually going into the hands of people as opposed to into the state coffers to be stolen by whoever, which is the Nigeria model.
Do you ever worry about Ghana becoming like Nigeria?
Not really, because the people of Ghana can see good things coming for them personally in the future. It's human nature to want opportunity. That's pure and simple what it's all about.
by the time you are through with your assignment, you will find what the Niger Delta is like. It's not an easy place to survive in, and not an easy place to develop. Faced with the kind of challenges that we have, we need some kind of resource, some kind of access to wealth to develop our environment. And I believe it's for that reason that God placed oil here. We think that the best way forward is for all stakeholders in the oil industry to do the best they can to provide jobs. That's what our youth need. They got to be busy.
And should the government be doing more too? Or?
Of course, it's our business, our duty to do more for our people.
What about corruption? Do you believe that corruption is a problem?
Of course, corruption is a problem everywhere. I don't think that corruption is limited to our environment alone.
The system is not an example of good citizenship. Why do you want to be a good citizen? Why would you not resort to violence? And as far as I'm concerned, the real militants in the Niger Delta are the politicians. They are the governors in the Niger Delta. They are the senators in the Niger Delta. They are the politicians. And as long as people continue to get money for the evil that they perpetrate in society, so it shall continue to be.
So how do you fight corruption?
We believe strongly that there is a right way of doing business and there's a wrong way of doing business. For all those who want to come through the back door, they should better get prepared. We're going to hunt them. We're going to chase them. We're going to drive them out of business. That's a promise. This is a democracy. The best we can do is to persuade people and to operate under the rule of law.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
Armed groups are sabotaging oil exports in one of the world's great oil-producing regions.
People have been cheated by the greedy central government, and this is why tensions are so high.
Mama boy, I may me take our own benefit.
Knock my own boom. I'm on the boom. On a EU mere kurumo. Dimbe Brebin in our walk of Butimbo, Torocare. I got documentary brown, got a name. But what about now? Like a dimbilly say ya. Far uru. One night, be few punk, allow me abo. I'm not facing a father by here.
You like the idea of being on TV, huh?
I too much like it. Because you become very popular. Maybe you are walking on the street, going around. Oh, you saw that was the guy I saw on television. Ah, the guy. Oh, is that his guy? Is that guy? Oh, that was the guy I was talking about. The news was talking about a lot of this in the television. Oh, that guy is great. He's nice. So I love it.
Tell me about, are you married, Emmy, or not?
I have a girlfriend. And she have a kid for me.
And how often do you get to see him?
Most of the time I go for my time off, I always be with him. All the things I do, I take him along. Or I take him around everywhere. Because I want him to be part of me. I sure must love him. My dream and my focus, I want my child to become the president of the country. I can do better. That is why we are in this struggle. Very, very important. In life, whatever thing you are doing, you have to have focus. You have to have that future dream of what you are going to be. What we are passing through now, I don't want our child. We want to leave a legacy.
You hear this term, big man. What makes somebody a big man in Nigeria?
Wow, that is a big question. What makes somebody a big man in Nigeria? If you have the money. If you have the money, but illegal way or legal way, you are a big man in Nigeria. Nigeria has bad leaders. You see, our Delta State government, they said he embezzled 60 billion. If you invest 60 billion, I think you are going to get a lot of development. But look at where people are living.
Oil is a means of getting big money, really. But the big money comes to the federal government. Even 1 millionth of it is not plowed back to the territory from where this big money is being made. Our people have seen that what comes out of our land is making some other people to be known as big men, big people, and the rest of it.
It seems to me that many people in Nigeria want to be a big man. What do you think?
Like you are too. You would want to become big too, isn't it? So Nigerians are not exceptional. Everybody wants to become big, and that's the prayer of everybody. I would want to become big. My son will want to become big. You too would want to become big, isn't it? It is an instinct in every human being to be well-to-do.
Alagba binava, ogidi binava,
More bad news for the world's oil markets. The section of an oil pipeline belonging to Chevron Oil Company has been blown up in the western Niger Delta, shutting down even more Nigerian oil production. This attack highlights the vulnerability of the oil infrastructure here. So more jitters for the world's oil markets.
Half of Nigeria's oil is offline right now, so over 1 million barrels a day of light sweet crude oil that we really can't replace. So that's a very big factor, one of the bigger factors in the market right now.
The militants in the Delta have proven all of Nigeria's oil facilities are within their reach.
This week, President Kufuor's government called to the first oil and gas conference. A key question will be how to divide future income between foreign companies and the Ghanaian government. Ghana might draw heavily from the experience of Norway, one of the major oil producers in the world.
What is exactly the resource curse? Number one problem with raw materials is that it tends to establish an enormous cash machine for politicians like myself, which we can use for whatever need a politician may have. Problem with that is that it tends to make the politicians lazy in the sense that they don't have to invest in education and all the other aspects of development, and they don't need to make a proper tax system. Simply they can replace this oil cash machine for normal hard work and development. That is the number one danger with the resource curse. Our philosophy in Norway is that the oil revenue belongs to the people of Norway, not to anyone else. And I would suggest that the oil revenue of Ghana belongs, pure and simple, to the people of Ghana, no one else. What we have felt back home served us best was to invite international capital in. But we want to tax them as much as possible. They should have conditions so that they stay on, but not 1 pence more than that.
Mr. Banco, sir.
Good idea to do this.
And everybody seems to be very committed to it, which is really... The only part I didn't like was the guy from Norway talked about taxing the oil companies to the end. Well, I don't like that part.
Oh, it won't happen. we will do it.
Yeah, for the guys that come later.
Yeah, the later guys. The next discovery, the next block.
No, existing agreements are agreements.
There you go. That's what we wanted to hear.
They're not going to be affected by anything.
Yeah. I know. I was teasing you, but I thought that was a bit.
Cosmo's strategy was to be more frontier-oriented, where there were not yet known hydrocarbons, and where the relationships with the government, the economic split with the government, would leave more available to those doing the early drilling. And that was the Cosmo strategy and part of the attraction here. So clearly higher risk, but also much higher reward.
It was a good contract for us at the time because there was no oil in the country. It's supply and demand. It's pure supply and demand. How can you attract capital to come into your country if you don't really have a really attractive exploration block to offer? You have to reduce your contract down where it looks like a good deal, where the risk reward is proper, because you're taking huge. We took huge risk to come into a country that had no oil.
We've exploited gold for hundreds of years, and yet there's nothing to show for it. The problem has to do with how foreign companies come into our country and exploit our resources. We're only getting about 5% of the value, the total value of exports of gold. And if that is repeated in the oil industry, then God save us. We will have the resources, but we will not become the beneficiaries of these resources. I think it's important to point out that this system does not need to happen here. There's also this idea that the oil resources can ensure that all our people can get access to education, that all our people can get access to health care, that there will be nutritious food for everybody and potable water for everybody. We all ought to be exploited for the benefit of all of our people. As far as I'm concerned, this is a period for change.
Ghana's voters are to choose a new president as current President John Kufuor prepares to step down after 8 years in power.
The incumbent president, John Kufuor, is not running. How close is this contest?
It is a statistical dead heat.
Ghana back on one side. MPP press and you who are there, you baby to and you are two or they put to it. This country has a lot of resources, but the MPP government has not used those resources for the people of this country. We will use the resources so that you'll be able to do whatever you want, and indeed you can live in reasonable comfort.
We just wanted to ask you about the oil money. Have you seen the contract between Cosmos and the government?
We haven't. I haven't.
Do you know what's in it?
I don't know what's in it, but whatever it is, we will take a look at it when we come into government. You see, what happens normally is that it's not everything that you see on paper that is there. We want to call for all the details and look at it very carefully. But we shall be guided by only what is in the best interest of our dear nation.
If you felt it was in the best interest of your nation, would you be willing to change the contract?
Why not? No, why not? There's no doubt about it. I have to act in the interest of the country. And I'm not going to say that because the government has committed us in the wrong way, I'm going to follow suit. Whatever I do, I'm not going to be vindictive. I'm not going to be partial. And what is in the best interest of our dear nation.
Opposition leaders declared the winner of Ghana's presidential election. John Atta Mills, who was the opposition party, ended up beating Akufo-Addo in the election.
I imagine that a change in government is sort of a nerve-wracking time. You know what you had, and you learned how to deal with it, but you don't know the new guys. So there's a big unknown, there's a question in the air.
There is, certainly in a lot of places. I think Ghana, in my mind anyway, it's mitigated to some extent because new guys, old guys, whatever, they all believe in the rule of law. And they're all well-educated, good people that will do the right thing for their country. And we're doing the right thing for their country. And so if we were some scallywags, perhaps you would worry about who these new guys are and all of that. But we're pretty straight ahead kind of people, and I think they know that, and so it shouldn't make any difference.
I'm Bill Hayes. I'm the General Counsel for Cosmos Energy.
Is this a normal level of activity for an oil company of this size?
It's a completely abnormal level of activity for Cosmos, for a company of Cosmos size. Yeah, this is a very small company to have probably one of the largest finds in Africa in, I don't know, a generation. And so we're all kind of busy at the wheel here, working hard, because there's just, it's pretty astonishing.
What do you see as the biggest challenges in front of you right now?
Oh gosh, well, getting the POD approved is a huge challenge.
Tell me what a POD is.
Oh, it's plan of development. The problem we face right now is that we're in this sort of interim period where we've got this plan of development that's not quite agreed by the government, so it's half-baked, which gives them the opportunity to make some changes if they so choose to. Now, we've got a pretty firm position. This is what we agreed with the last government, so we would hope you gentlemen would entertain the same thing for the new government.
The principal challenge for the company is through to first oil. Once cash flow starts to come in from oil production, then we'll be in a very strong position to fund exploration, appraisal and development, in fact, from that cash flow.
You seem to be under a lot of stress.
The stress is really just from the workload. There's just a lot going. We are, at the end of the day, a small company in a very large project, in a very complex project that has got many moving parts.
So what do you do to deal with the pressure?
We work longer hours and longer days and 7 days a week, and oftentimes put our family second and our marriages at risk for the cause.
What do you want to see happen to Cosmos? What are your hopes?
My hopes? Yeah. My hopes that Cosmos will be a successful investment for all those that have invested in it and taken the risk. The important thing is we do the right thing for the shareholders and maximising their returns. If I'm to be left with anything, it's an enhanced reputation and a better track record than I had before we started Cosmos. Reputation's everything.
If you can get any insight from him on what the process is after we put the POD in this week, is it going to be taken up to the office of the president, or has somebody got authority to sign it? I mean, it's just questions that we're being asked by our board, and I don't have any answers.
I was getting huge pressure from the board. I remember saying, no POD, no company, because we're doing all of these things in order to provide the capital. And say, you got to get this POD approved or this company's going to go down the tubes.
Jeffrey's all freaked out. Look at all the problems we've got in Ghana right now.
Oh, my. I don't know. Warburg Pincus and Blackstone had invested $825 million, which is an awful lot of money. We wanted the team at Cosmos to make this thing work.
I wonder if I called the minister back. I called him twice, never got him. But if I call him back tomorrow and say, look, we're prepared. I would like to get us all some attention about the signing of the POD, your gas development plan. I'd like to have a big formal signing ceremony Thursday of next week.
I mean, that's maybe what's going to take to get it done.
Maybe. Just have a carrot out there and say, here's, because this could just get lost out in politician land for
corral for how many could go anywhere.
I can show you a few things that I have on my table from Cosmos. You will need to take care in these legal matters to make sure that you're not hurting anybody. And again, also, we as a people, that Ghana is also not losing out. It is a new Ghana, committed to ensure that our people benefit.
The market fell as if down a well today. The Dow traders are standing there watching in amazement, and I don't blame them.
We haven't seen anything like this probably since the Great Depression, I think it's fair to say.
The opening bell is going to ring, and to be honest with you, we wish it wouldn't.
When you look at stocks, that just tells one part of the story. We also saw oil fall dramatically today, down $10.50 per barrel, because Wall Street is very fearful that it's going to lead to a slowdown in the United States and a slowdown all over the world.
taking a look at the oil stocks, we've seen a continuous decline. Last week, the oil and gas 5 index was down 10.3%. We'll keep you posted. Bosin?
Nigeria faces a dire economic situation in its recent history, with oil prices very sharply declining. The government is going broke, but the key question is, how will all of these impact on the common man? That's what we'll talk about later on the show.
Oil, commodities, stocks, bringing you the news that affects your wallet.
Before the advent of oil, there was some kind of civility among the Nigerian population. The rapacity they have now started because there is a big gap between those who have access to the resources and those who don't have. People revert to all sorts of unconventional and savage ways to benefit from the oil. For example, there were a lot of pipeline, networks of pipeline crisscrossing the whole of this riverine environment. What happened is that a whole lot of these pipelines were removed by all sorts of people, selling them to local consumers.
Selling the pipelines?
Yeah, selling the pipeline to local consumers. People take for themselves.
Hey, Patrick, what is that they're doing with this?
Those are jerry cans of condensate fuels. This is gotten with the connivance of workers in the oil company. It has become a major source of income for a lot of young people. But if there were more kind of job, I don't think people will get involved, because this is highly inflammable. There has been cases where people got burnt and died in the process. Everybody is striving to be a big man or a big woman. I mean, there is this savage struggle for wealth, and that is why we are seeing this booming condensate market.
The stock market took another beating today. The Dow Industrials lost about 440 points. Add that to yesterday's similar loss, and you get the Dow's worst two-day performance since 1987.
The big private equity company Blackstone lost more than $500 million last quarter, so the bad news just doesn't stop.
Oil is off $2.33 now. It's quite frightening when you're dependent on a commodity that's gone from $140 to $30-something in a nanosecond. We're thinking about what's the company worth to see who might in fact be interested in perhaps buying the asset. We have a data room in place where we've got all of the geologic records to show the world what we've discovered. ExxonMobil's in the data room today. And at some point in time, we're going to be receiving bids here.
Let's talk a little bit about why you're selling right now. Is it Blackstone and Warburg Pincus who make that choice?
Well, yes, and ultimately it will be yes. It'll because it's their money. Private equity guys need to get the kind of returns that their investors expect from them. But when's the inflection point where you can get paid enough for the potential upside, but you don't give it away?
Well, I would think you might be a little sad to see Jubilee go. I'm surprised to hear you sound so calm about the whole thing.
You know, again, you have to be pragmatic about where things are, and there's so much capital that's needed, and this is not exactly a capital-rich environment right now. We also heard that ExxonMobil asked about conflicts from Ghanaian counsel, has called Bill Hayes to find out whether there's, conflicts here or there or what. So, and trying to find out a firm that they could use, a Ghanaian firm that they could use. So that, that's obviously positive. GMPC would really love an ExxonMobil. Yeah.
Interesting. They just take the pot to another level.
Right. I'm almost tempted to just go to Exxon and say, okay, come on, guys.
Why don't you go and preempt?
Yeah. Do you want to know a number, and we can whisper in your ear and tell you what it would take, and they could go to the safe and pull it out and pay you as you left. You want that in hundreds or 20s? So what do you?
Anyway.
Okay.
How much money will you make if you sell this Jubilee prospect for what you think it's worth?
We think our Ghanaian assets worth somewhere between $4 and $5 billion to Cosmos. It's a big boy deal. I mean, it's worth a lot of money. You probably saw the amount of camera here full time. It's going to be nuts. Trying to sell the company, but we were going about our business as if we were not going to sell. So by this time, little Cosmos is in the process of spending hundreds of millions of dollars to put together this project, and we were all on a real tight timeline to get.
Here was Cosmos Energy with a large interest in this wonderful asset. One is in a distressed situation financially. The vultures come circling, and that came in the form of, in many forms.
All of a sudden, I get a very legal letter from Anadarko saying that they have grave concerns about Foreign Corrupt Practice Act violations by Cosmos Energy and wanting to conduct a complete and thorough investigation. FCPA stands for Foreign Corrupt Practice Act.
And what is the Foreign Corrupt Practice Act?
It basically says that if you're a U.S. company, you can't bribe an official of a foreign country. You can go to jail. There's all kinds of bad fines, and it's bad. So I mean, it's a very stiff, stringent law.
Hi, George. I just got your email. This is not just a investigation of yourselves. It's also an investigation of Cosmos, the way I read it.
Yeah.
I mean, was the EO group set up by Cosmos to act as an intermediary in its negotiations with the Ministry of Energy? I mean, that's...
Yes.
Right.
It's not just me or you, yeah, it also is by Cosmos too.
Right.
We got our license because of Georgia Wusu and the EO group. Supposedly the payments that we made to EO group as a success fee, supposedly that was passed on to KUFOR or others. Now we were great friends with KUFOR, and the new government did not like KUFOR. They were blood enemies. They said that we'd done something really bad and dirty with regard to the KUFOR administration, and that we were participants in some sort of a bribery or whatever in order to get this license. Well, the only thing that led them to do that is that the block had become very valuable. It's worth billions of dollars now.
Investigations. Under what circumstances were those contracts negotiated and signed? Was everything done not only in accordance with the letter of the law, but with the spirit of the law for the betterment of the Ghanaian people?
I asked Adam Mills during the election, would you be willing to change the terms of the original contract with Cosmos? And he said, absolutely. What do you think of that statement?
Well, I think that it's an accurate statement, and this is why we are actually pursuing this investigation. It's in pursuance of transparency. We must think of the nation. This is the thing that in Africa we find very difficult to do as a people. You know, we put our own interests first.
Do you know when this is going to be resolved?
In the very near future.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of questions about this FCPA stuff now. So we just need to, again, box that up. And the way I told him we should spin it is, look, the partnership decided to go and do some full and complete due diligence before spending $3 billion. We did our own. We've got this great file.
I think it's succinct and it says it all.
But we need to get something in the data room which just addresses it. It's just a placeholder for legal due diligence, because there's just nothing there right now. And people are asking the question.
Well, it's a legitimate, obvious question that at this juncture you need to know the answer to that. So we were under huge pressure, and we kept saying there's nothing to this. I mean, but the fact that we got sort of indignant that they're questioning our integrity, they said, oh, red flag. They wanted to interview me and Brian and all of senior management. They wanted to send in a SWAT team of lawyers to come interview us. Finally, our board of directors said, and this was when all of the financial crisis was melting down. We got to sell, we got to sell, we got to sell. And they're thinking, the board of directors says, we can't have any kind of smell of any FCPA because we're going to sell this company. We can't have that. And so they said, do whatever they want.
It was very stressful because FCPA being tossed around could reduce market value. And the goal of the venture capitalist is to maximize profit. But can you get the cash? Or will there be so many other people and entities involved that you can't earn a profit?
Cosmos is getting considerable support from the most influential media in the United States of America. I read the article in the Wall Street Journal. It clearly showed that they don't understand what is happening in Ghana. Over the last 100 years or two, oil has spelled disaster for many African communities. There have been issues about greedy corporations spending dollars on corrupt politicians in order to maximize their profits. I think it goes way beyond arrogance, you know. It seems to me that they want actually to control the destiny of the country. Everybody is likely to be suspicious and to raise important questions.
The problem is, say you're really, will be scaring away a lot of investors. It's getting into Wall Street Journal, Financial Times, the whole world is watching. And now the oil industry knows, I'm going to say, it's a club, they all know each other. Oh, I think you kill your industry. So I buy, not say, you recognize a contract.
A leaked document indicating that some Cosmos EU executives will be put on trial for causing financial loss to the state is raising concern. The allegation is that EU used its influence on the then President John Kufuor government to ensure the companies got favorable deals. But Cosmos denies...
Oh yeah, okay, you come in today, you buy something for a penny. Go back and come back tomorrow, and if 20 people want to buy the same thing, you may pay $1 for it. It's just a matter of economics. We came in at a time when nobody wanted to come to Ghana. I bet you won't be talking to me if the well was dry. You're only talking because it was successful. You always want to benefit yourself and your family and the country. You always want to bring something home, and that's what I've done. I brought something home. It hurts. It hurts like crazy. I brought my family here. My wife cries every night.
You know, the tragedy of this whole thing is under the Kufuor administration, we had very good relationships with them because we worked very hard at it. We spent lots of time in country.
Well, some people might hear what you're saying right now is kind of ironic given where your relationship has gone with.
Where it's gone with who? With the government. Yeah, I agree. It's well, and there's a reason for that.
What's the reason for that?
I was removed. Our board of directors came and said, we decided to make a change, and we want to make a change because we've lost confidence in you. I said, what have I done? We just lost confidence in you. You can't get along with, you know, you've got this FCPA problem. You can't get along with the government. You yelled at the minister, and you know, and we can't get a POD signed. You know, all of these things. We've lost confidence in you. We're going to make a change. I said, well, who are you going to hire? I said, we're going to elevate Brian. I said, this just makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. You're just gonna shunt me aside and bring somebody else. Number one, it's gonna make you look terribly weak with the government of Ghana. That all of a sudden you're backing down in front of their demands or whatever. And number two, you're conceding. We've got an FCPA violation going on. I mean, investigation going on, and you're gonna sit me down in the midst of that, and that's going to be sort of an admission of guilt of sorts. I said, it's just silly.
Jim was there for quite a long time, and I think that it's a very stressful position. And as you know, the Cosmos history over the 7 years or whatever has not always been smooth sailing. The role of the board is to ensure that the business is well managed, that the right disciplines are in place, that the right people are in place, that there is succession planning for management, for example, so that those people who put money at risk have a chance to actually get a return, a tangible return in terms of cash.
It's about protecting their personal reputation. They live in a world where people chew on each other's legs all the time, and they have to protect themselves because if they ever miss a step, if they ever are perceived to be wrong, then they're forever lost in their quest of what they're doing, because they don't have many opportunities to make mistakes in their world.
There's a fire that burned on the pipeline. They already extinguished 2, which this one is making up 3. This other one here is 4, and there's also 1 before the first bridge coming in.
Is that Kobachon Duanen, now born you no magba no boy, baby the doba, bedinera and a gronake, nana bedebo, dinake bonake, banana, no, I did near bedinake doba.
Babin Bonibe Usano look Pogore. Temfuki at Tatunda, Bumumva, a Baku Usano look Pogora. Mbopina go baraba me. So, Babo Eribana and again, your mum. Go be fair and bedding Adi. So, Tomason. Think I'll be an anigea, go working. I go work a bottoy. Return tone at any. I'll go for Pogora to some mumba, some would Look at the love one near Furine and I'm a tattoo money bay. It's a bear my bye.
Hello to sobly to Fuma. After 10 to 4 blade Fuma on a guy, look at a banana, go to name. The day no one a book arm book kurak mam, I thought kurak mam after some time, it go Teresano. But when I find your coy, man, no, Diana ver, Nobu, after the salon nobu, man, ye be can abandon in a. But when not Bobek coy, me to a banana in one, Balugo would never contract. Be won never ton va tomar o contrato be neva be I non le va na le seto bi share contrato ni abi ba una e di nya ba lo na bu le be de me abonné nda men sans abonné and then me abonné. À l'autre temps, quand il y a un allait dire, et vous les tombez qui a un choix, le bien, et bala. À ton n'oublie quoi, mais à douter tout pour n'a ta ma pour à bet. Nous en a qui quoi, toi comme un babogi. I ve ba aru nyama kwera ki na briuri yima koe na ki tuna tarakuto abe belenda ndani yenye ko me abile ko nda tuna tamakuto anda obe ko no anda yenye navo is that ko benda tu na tamakuto anda wanda ne uva kbe alu banda de abile noe ya dina ke lunda na ke.
Here in the Niger Delta, you will see individuals that have been friends for years, but immediately oil is discovered, immediately oil is found in a particular place, the conflict begins because it's about who gets what, you know, and it doesn't end there. Those who found themselves, the power holders, seize the resources and turn them into their private estates. So the problem comes from the top down. Let me tell you, people talk about oil bunkering. Bunkering oil is using illegal means to open up pipelines. And what you extract from the pipelines, the money you make from that does not go into the national treasury. It goes into personal pockets.
So,
So, who owns the oil and who know what is happening and what we are seeing at times with our eyes? The people that are talking in Abuja that bunkering is an evil, are the people that who's doing the really what is called bunkering.
For major bunkering, oil is tapped into a barge. A barge moves it into a waiting oil tanker, and each process brings in a lot of money. Bunkering is a huge business that is so expensive to run. The big fish in the oil bunkering are not the militants. Most of them are highly placed in government. They are so rich with money that they can pay off any police commissioner, pay off any senior police official, and go ahead and do what they want to do. Where the militants play a role, some of these things happen around the creeks where they operate. So you have people setting up camps wherever they suspect oil bunkering is happening. Your camp brings you value. They cannot pass through without paying something. Those big fish who benefit ultimately from oil bunkering want to devastate the impoverishment so that they can do their business without any molestation. Because in the midst of chaos, why would anybody want to worry about what is happening at the creek, where somebody is taking oil? People are thinking on how to survive. You do not have a government that looks after those things for you. So everybody is unto himself.
Be a scramble for oil until it's replaced by something else. People suddenly see an opportunity for wealth, and without a certain discipline, without a certain vision, without a certain solidarity, you could end up like rats trying to climb out of a cage. So it's a question of who you think your own are. And I'm saying, and that's been a huge part of the problem in Nigeria, that very few Nigerians see Nigerians as their own. I'm an Igbo, I'm a Yoruba, I'm this and that. We are accountable to 25 million people for how this resource is managed. So everybody needs to worry about corruption, and we must have a long-term national strategic vision.
Oil revenues will start around the fourth quarter of this year. We are laying the foundation for a prosperous industrial nation.
The previous government was nice to Cosmos. We've moved into a mess and they want to sell. They cannot expect to keep the same rules because now we are moving to certain things will have to change. We said that, look, if you're going to exit, we want to have control. So we said we will buy the asset. GMPC, on behalf of the government, will buy the asset.
The Ghana National Petroleum Corporation is ready to buy the shares of Cosmos Energy in the Jubilee field.
Under the current agreement, the revenue that would comprises 10% for GNPC, 5% royalties, and 10% tax. Our Cosmos stake is therefore one of the methods being used to scale up the revenue that will come to the nation.
Agreement that was entered into with Cosmos perhaps had terms that no other agreement that has been signed recently had. And, you know, there may have been reasons for that, but what GMPC, I think, has tried to do, therefore, is, you know, also to see how, through negotiating, to take the increased stake.
This may be our last chance. We got gold, the companies pay very little. We have cocoa, the prices are not set by us. It's set somewhere in Chicago. But this one, Ghana should not fail this time. The days of ignorance are gone.
Our biggest egregious mistake was to shut down the auction and to not take bids from other companies. I begged them. I said, ask for forgiveness after it's done. Get the bids in hand. And I said, then you'll have the high ground at that point in time. You can deal with these people. I said, please, you've got to take the bids. That's also the height of the whole FCPA thing. That was really swirling around at that point in time. So Jeffrey's on his heels because of FCPA.
Illusion that FCPA being tossed around was a tactic to try and reduce market value, to get Cosmos to sell at a discount price, with the potential for the Ghanaians, or GNPC specifically, to then resell that interest at a market.
Turn around and sell it high, you know, buy for, they're just crooked as they can be.
Okay, Chris, we're going to be paying out on the pipe. Go about 5%.
We have defined the exit route. Cosmos sells to GMPC. GMPC will decide who then enters.
Well, this provides GMPC with an opportunity to...
If, and I'm going to use the word if I sit in here, directly or indirectly, I try to benefit from this deal, it is a no-no to this government. We will never do anything that will not go totally to the benefit of the people. We as individuals, we are not the issue. It is the people.
High risk and high cost, if in the event of success, the returns aren't high. And if we'd had to sell the asset to GMPC, we don't think we would have got the full value that we created. So we came up with another plan.
Was the decision made to negotiate with ExxonMobil privately, sort of behind the back of the government?
I went to Brian. I said, Exxon has got the balls to do this, and you know, just go tell them that they've got a free shot here. So Brian did that.
We're not children. We all schooled in the US. You've taught me enough to know it is not fair to throw off a country. But my sister, let me make a point here. Before any entity, any oil company enters the country, it is the minister's consent, the ministry's approval that allows you to enter.
Even though I have brought Cosmos in the country, they just kicked me out. To me, at that time, what I told them later on was that, look, I felt, excuse my French, but that's how I felt, that the nigger has been thrown under the bus. That's how I felt. Brian vehemently didn't like my characterization of how I was discharged, but hey, I'm sorry, that's how I felt. Now, after the fact, they found out I didn't do what they said I did. How do you put the genie back in the bottle? Good afternoon. It's almost a year ago that I left this place. I want to set the record straight, make you know what happened. Because you were all here, and I don't want you to have little bits and pieces of it. I want you to have the whole story, so that in future, that's for posterity's sake. When somebody asks you, you can say, yes, I was there. I listened to the man, and this is what he said. 2 days ago, I received a letter from the United States Justice Department, and this is the report. On behalf of your clients, we do not intend to take any enforcement action and have closed our inquiry into this matter. Despite all the backbiting, this is what the United States government has said, and I felt it is important that I share the letter with you. The government of Ghana came in here, ran through the office, ran through everything. My reputation is shut forever. Brian, Musselman, they are here because of what we have. I was born here, so my interest is right here. So for your own people to put you through this, just because you helped to find this asset for your country is pathetic.
So what's the next step to this?
Well, I don't know.
A new Guns for Cash program aims to end the militancy in Nigeria and to bring more oil back into production. The Nigerian government will offer $400 a month, job training, and an unconditional pardon to every militant who lays down his arms.
Exactly other dot, Naga data, data state, word of the government. Now we are laying our arms. The federal government got amnesty to the militants. If the federal government really wants peace, let us do to their own promise to develop the Niger Delta. All right, don't worry, don't worry. All right,
I'm going to talk about even at 1 point something, we will pay everybody and make everybody go. Then I'm going to get. So, do you know here and the government will be out of the respect another friend. Then I'm going to get. So, that's where we go, say many come. But when they call, they must make eyes.
Because not like
I'm not me, I'm looking for my dawn. It's respect, it's my lord. Yes.
I think I don't know last thing they say. Send us on me and I bomb. Hey, me and me tell them, boy, or you're everybody food, yeah, or you're more like passing. You put your pet lamos in your hand. Everybody go. You walking place.
So how do you see your future?
I don't know. The federal government have already pardoned we, so we can even contest in an election. We can come into the political aspect. So today I can be the governor of Delta State. They will not rebel against me that say this guy is a militant, so he's a killer, so then he cannot become a governor.
Do you think the amnesty will work?
We don't trust it. Because anybody can come in today, do whatever word comes from his mind, and get away. Because why? We have no law. For example, I'm the governor of today. Everything in the state is my care. Money is my care. So it is the way I like to make use of my money. That's the way I'll make use of my money. And nobody can kick against me. This week we go up big estate, share the Money of everybody money, the whole state money. That's the Nigeria we have today.
Tell me what ultimately happened to the ExxonMobil deal.
Well, ExxonMobil pulled out of the deal. And that is understandable. There was so much heat around the deal. And it's obvious that no multinational corporation can function in a country where there's so much hostility and so on. So Exxon obviously pulled out, and Cosmos decided to stay in Ghana. And we understand that negotiations have begun again between the government of Ghana and Cosmos to exchange. But there have been issues about the violation of law. So that's what the negotiations are about.
We're available the rest of the day, so whenever's convenient for you and the guys.
Actually, I'll be glad if we can shoot it, kill it today.
But if you're leaving in the morning, I'm leaving in the evening, so we really have to.
That's what I want.
It should be pretty quick, Bill.
What's that?
It should be pretty quick.
They're gonna have to look at it and make sure and initial it. It should be. Right. Hello?
I'm gonna deliver it.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Why is getting this agreement so important?
We need a massive amount of cash to fund the project. That's the problem. And it's gonna allow Cosmos to go forward in terms of raising money, and then allow us to have a more cooperative, mutually beneficial relationship with the government as we used to 2 years ago. So it's pretty important.
Why the sudden change of heart from the government here?
I think they realized that the status quo of being in conflict just was not doing anybody any good. For the leading investors in the country to be treated this way was not helpful for the government of Ghana